Hello and welcome to the program. I am Deji360. The political transition in the United States is one the world and indeed Africa has welcomed with a lot of hope and expectation. Now, Nigeria and the United States have a long-standing bilateral relationship, especially in the areas of economy, security, and so on, all of which, of course, had its ups and downs under the President Donald Trump administration. With President Joe Biden now taking over leadership in the U.S., it is expected that things could well change for the better. Already, Biden has started to undo some of the controversial policies of his predecessor, one of which is a reversal of the travel ban, which restricted some countries, including Nigeria, from being granted immigrant visas. But that's just one of the many things Africa expects of the new U.S. government. Now, not just Africa, but also Nigeria. So the question is, what more would Africa and Nigeria be expecting from the Biden administration? All right, I'm now being joined on the program by Ambassador Ogbole Amedu Ode, who is a former spokesperson of the Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He also is a former acting High Commissioner of Nigeria to Singapore. Mr. Amedu Ode, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Just how significant is the election of Joe Biden now as the president of the United States of America? How significant is it for a country like Nigeria that has long-standing relations with the United States?
Thank you very much, Mr. Badmus, for having me on your program. Significance of the U.S. election and the ultimate emergence of Mr. Joe Biden as president has its significance on a couple of levels. One, the fact that the predecessor in office was a tumultuous 4-year period, not only for the United States, but also for the rest of the world, and particularly Africa and Nigeria. Secondly, it is significant because he's emerging during a pandemic that has shifted its epicenter from China, moving westwards, and right now is anchored in the United States with its ramifications in other areas and indeed all areas of human endeavor. For Nigeria particularly, again, we have been having some untoward times, some unsettling times recently. And given the role of the United States as the world's #1 superpower, the world's #1 economy, anything happening there within their national space is of significance to us. More so also the fact that the United States plays home to the largest black population outside of Africa, most of who are of Nigerian descent. And finally, that a lot of Nigerian Americans who enjoy dual nationality status and who are doing very well are of significance to us because they form the bulk of Nigerians who are in diaspora and who contribute significantly to the economy of Nigeria by way of foreign exchange remittances.
Now, no doubt at all. Look, let's face it, whether or not we like it, Africa did not enjoy, well, such a rosy relationship with the United States under Donald Trump. Do you think there will be a radical change now that a new government has come in? Let's take the issue of immigration, for instance. We know, for instance, the Trump administration placed Nigeria and a number of other African countries on a immigration ban. Now, in the case of Nigeria, of course, there was a ban on the issuance of immigrant visas. Of course, the current president, the new president, has overturned that. But do you think we're going to see any kind of radical shift now in the relations between both sides?
Thank you very much for that question. That has been, during the Trump era, during the Trump period, one of the sore points of Nigeria-U.S. relations. And the way I see it is this. I see Joe Biden rolling back significantly most of the Trump policies that had as its anchor America first. Yes, the immigration issue is a sore point because a lot of Nigerians see the U.S. as one of their topmost travel priority in terms of tourism. There is also the significance of what you and I know as bet tourists who Nigerian ladies who fly across to the United States in order to give birth to their babies for the sole purpose of obtaining U.S. nationality. Those will come under the focus under Joe Biden. Now, don't also forget that this year, 2021, will mark 11 years of the inauguration of the Binational Commission between Nigeria and the U.S. And under that structure, under the BNC architecture, we have several areas of our bilateral cooperation that come under focus every 2 years. And I guess that the next one, I can't be readily sure when it's coming up, we'll have all these issues that you have mentioned highlighted in order for those who are attending on both sides to cross the T's and dot the I's.
Let's look at the wider continent, Africa. Do you expect to see a shift in relations? Do you expect to see better relations now between Africa as a whole and the United States? No doubt. I mean, under Trump, some things actually happened. We had the Prosper Africa program, even though the program really not, I would say, didn't get off the ground as such. And then we had the United States, of course, supporting Nigeria in the fight against Boko Haram. Let's not forget that the Trump administration agreed without wasting time to sell to Nigeria the Super Tucano aircraft that we are expecting. We've been told that those aircraft will begin to arrive by July. And of course, we also saw, the U.S. getting involved, having boots on the ground now in helping Africa now to fight insurgency, whether it's in Somalia or Niger, even though the Trump administration towards its end decided to start pulling out its troops now from Africa. So what do you expect to see? Because some people have said, look, take for instance the case of Nigeria, that under Obama, the country refused to sell those fighter jets now to Nigeria. Do you think we might have a problem at all with the Biden administration? Because some people have said, look, somehow the Biden administration would appear to be an extension, if you like, of the Obama administration. So is it likely that in terms of relations now, in some cases, we might have a situation where things might go back to what they used to be under the Obama era?
Thank you once again. I do not see in certain phases the Biden administration as an extension of the Obama administration, to the extent that both of them are emerging on democratic, or did emerge on at the White House through on the platform of the Democratic Party. Yes, it's an extension. But when you look at the two individuals, they're going to be a play out where Biden will be significantly different from Obama. In saying this, let us look at the congratulatory message that President Muhammadu Buhari sent to Biden when he won the election. He said, looking at his track record, and what do you think Mr. President had in mind when he referred to his track record? You see, on the social media during the campaign, Biden's stand on apartheid policy in South Africa in the heydays of apartheid in the 1980s as a very, very young senator made the rounds on the social media. Also, if you look at the configuration of his appointments so far, with a lot of African Americans in his cabinet, the vice president is of African descent. And again, let us take a look at the election of the two senators in Georgia, the very Reverend Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff. Well, if you look at that, and if Nigeria is willing and able to leverage this configuration of elements, then we'll see that the Biden administration and its African policy will be significantly different. Don't also forget that Africa, as pundits have said, is experiencing a second scramble for the continent. I do not see America wanting to be left behind when there are competitions from the East, specifically China, followed by India. You will recall also that by the year 2000, when America began to decline its purchase of crude oil from Nigeria, easing up to zero importation from Nigeria, India today is #1 importer of our crude oil, which is the mainstay of our economy. So I would see, or I will like to say that the U.S. will want to focus more on Africa because it has to stave off competition from Asian powers.
Let me ask you this final question before I let you go. If there were areas that you would like to see improvement now in the relations between Nigeria and the United States, that you would want probably the Biden administration to begin to look at, what would those areas be?
Oh, for me, it will be the area of our national economy. You know as much as I do that our economy is in the doldrums. We are in the second recession in 4 or 5 years. That is not quite good. The COVID pandemic has not even helped matters. So there has to be a spike in our economic relations, in terms of bilateral economic relations between the United States and Nigeria, in order to restore normalcy, not just to the Nigerian economy, but also to the U.S. economy, and of course, the role we both play on our continents. Nigeria on the African continent, U.S. in the North American, and to some extent, significant extent, the South American continent, so that the economy will be brought back on track and to stave off suffering of the vast majority of our people and get things on an even keel, so that we begin to focus on other areas in our bilateral relations. Thank you.
Well, Ambassador Ogbole Amedu-Ode, thank you very much for joining us on the program, and let's just hope that relations, of course, get better, and that those areas that you've identified, that they're actually addressed. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you for having me on your program, and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Well, I've been speaking with Ambassador Ogbole Amedu-Ode, who is the former spokesperson of the Nigeria Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We'll take a short break now, and we'll be right back. On Deji360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country?
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that band.
Deji360, providing clarity to issues.